All right. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Queenie Green. So tonight is an intimate conversation, and it's pretty much my thoughts on a few topics that I've been having some conversations with family, friends, associates, and I thought it was just only right to have this conversation because I know myself and the people that I've been talking with throughout the week. We're not the only ones that's having these thoughts and dealing with certain things. So tonight's episode is episode 9, and we're talking dig deep, learn yourself, and elevate. So so I want to start off with welcoming everyone in, welcoming those that are going to tune in. Thank you to the supporters. Thank you to my followers. Thank you to the people who sincerely and genuinely congratulate what's going on. Make sure you tune in every week. We've either got guests for you or we live from another venue, another location, another event. But it's hashtag WVOG everywhere. And you can check us out more on www.wvogchi.com. So first, we're going to be talking dig deep, learn self, and then elevate. First, we're going to be talking social circles. So digging deep, learning yourself, and elevating when it comes to your social circles. So, like I said, all week I've been having conversations with my girls, my guys, my friends, my associates, business colleagues, etc. And social circles. What I'm finding out from a lot of people around me that people are not really living their full potential within themselves. They're not necessarily unhappy, but they're not necessarily over happy either. And what are we doing with life if we're not happy with the life we live in? So I thought it was only right that we have these conversations. And all I can do is talk to you about my experiences, my growth, and how certain things and certain things that I've learned to do, certain meditations, certain soul searching that I've been doing, and just I've been able to also assist in elevating other people. I hope that something sparks a seed or plants a seed, and then you able to get on with your life and be a greater you. So first, social circles, digging deep, learning yourself, and elevating. So within our social circles, what I've learned and what I've seen over the years is that even as adults, we still deal with peer pressure. And to me, adult peer pressure is the same as adolescent peer pressure, childhood peer pressure. Basically, you don't want to look like the lame. Even though there are some people, places, and things that you're in tune with, or you go and you take yourself around and you really don't even want to be there. You really don't even want to deal with it. You really don't even want to answer your phone. You really don't even want to have this conversation, but you do because you feel a need to either be there to support, or you feel a need to not be a lame, or you feel you don't want to turn your people down. And so I do think that we all tend to deal with a little bit of peer pressure, adult peer pressure, when it comes to our social circles. But dealing with these three main aspects: digging deep, learning yourself, and then elevating. It allows you to understand. Sometimes it might not even matter what people say, do, or think against you when you're in the process of elevating yourself. So first, digging deep. Digging deep. I'll start off with the working class, working parents, working and being a parent, having to pay bills, things like that. We tend to not find enough time, or not even think that we have enough time to start digging deep. For anything to be changed in your life, it is only you that can change it. It is only you, no one else. Not your spouse, not your children, not people at your job, not people around you, not people on your block. No one can change your situation but you. So you have to dig deep and actually learn yourself to elevate. Digging deep means find that time. For me, I tell a lot of people, especially my business friends, that in this world, in this life, sometimes you have to literally steal your own time from yourself for yourself. I'm going to say that again. You have to steal your time from yourself for yourself. That means, ladies, if you working in school, you have children, by the time you come home, you gotta cook, you gotta clean, been there, done that. Oh my God, I am so happy and so blessed that all my children are for the most part grown or grown-ish, that I don't have to do that anymore. Because they're just Uber Eats children now. I know the parents out there can definitely testify on that one. But on back on topic, on the note, stealing that time from yourself. I found whether I had to steal that time from myself, for myself, whether I was in the shower, whether I was on the toilet, whether I was cooking, whether I was cleaning, whatever, whether I was retwisting my own hair, whatever time that I could steal away, that time was strictly put here for myself. That was the time that I started digging deep. Back in my 20s, when my children were still pretty young, I took some time away. I moved out to Iowa, to the cornfields, and I took time away from the city, and I started digging deep. All I know is, what I could describe is that I had something clawing inside of me that needed to get out. That let me know that where I was in that moment, in that place that I was in, that wasn't the end. That wasn't, this is life as Queenie knows it. I knew that wasn't it, because if that was it, I would have been content with that. If you find yourself not being content within what you're doing, then that means there's something else. It's something else you're not tapping into. It means there's something more. And I don't care whether you got to go to a spiritual advisor. I'm gonna shout some people out that I've just recently got in tune with. Latoya Coleman. I actually today I got in tune with Tara on Dex, and I just was like, oh my God, I'm loving it. So if you gotta go and deal with a spiritual advisor, a mentor, or whatever the case is, do what you need to do, but tap into you, tap into who you are, because you can't be anything for anyone else unless you are the right inside of you. So back to social circles and digging within yourself, digging deep. So digging deep again, digging deep. My aspect, and then this is going to be live on Facebook, Instagram, things like that. So if you have certain things that you want to, and I'll be going back and forth. You'll see me looking back and forth, because I'll be going to Facebook, I'll be going to Instagram, I'll be going to YouTube. And if you guys are leaving comments, I'll definitely try to tap in on those, or I'll hit those up when I'm finished with the show. But for me, digging deep was stealing that time from myself, for myself, to dig deep, literally asking myself, within, not talking, not with words, not asking, not talking to anybody else, literally within myself, quietly thinking, what is it, Queenie, Malika, what is it that you want out of life? What is it that you want out of what you're doing? What is it that you want out of what you're building? And digging deep. Like I said, in my 20s, I started digging really, really deep. What is it that's clawing inside? What do you think? What do you feel like it is? What is that subliminal, those voices that you hear, whether you think of it as your angels, whether you think of it as your spiritual guidance, whether you think of it as your ancestors, whatever the case is, we have that inner voice, whether it's that devil or that angel on your shoulder, like TV back in the day. We have those voices that'll tell us little things. We tend to get away from it, and we tend to shy it away and think that, I'm not gonna tap in and listen to the voices because I'm crazy. Now, you might not be crazy. You may have some inner voices, inner ancestors that's trying to get you to your higher being. And so digging deep, asking yourself, really being truthful with yourself, looking at everything that you have going on around you, and actually asking yourself, am I happy here? Is this something that I actually want to be involved in? Is this something, the life that I'm living now, the neighborhood that I'm living in, the home I'm living in, the apartment I'm living in, the job that I'm working, the business that I'm trying to get started, the business that I'm in, the business that I'm running, the friends that I have, the things that I do on weekend, what I feel that I do, what do I do on the weekends, what's my turn up? These things are what you need to start digging into to see if it is actually conducive to your growth, to the elevation of you. And so again, in social circles, I started with that because Right now, social circles are like our everything, whether it's your social circle on social media or is where you always on scene at, who you always go out and hang out with. Who you always go out and hang out with. When you get that call, girl, let's go over here. When you get that call, my nigga, what you doing? What you want? Let's go over here. Let's go do this. You have to start thinking, do I really want to do this? Or am I just bored? Or am I just going just to be going? Did you have something else that you could be doing? Could you be reading? Could you be doing anything else other than where you're going to be? I know for myself, oh God, almost 10 years ago, I worked a lot around the rap and hip hop world. And I found myself sometimes being the oldest person, literally the oldest person in the venue. Mainly because I was managing artists, but at the same time, I'm managing artists. I'm still running my business, but I wasn't happy there because it wasn't conducive to my growth. And so when I started digging deep, what is Queenie actually? What does Queenie want to be known for? What does Queenie want to do? What does Queenie want to subscribe to? We'll talk about that later. And Queenie started understanding that I, who you identify, us, we, me. I didn't want and I didn't feel good being around places and people that are talking about shooting and killing and hoeing and sucking and stripping and fucking and all this other whirlwind and stuff that's going on. It just wasn't conducive to my growth. And so I had to take some time and I had to consider, do I care about the little money that I'm making? Do I care about everybody knowing Queenie when she walked through the door? Do I care about always being on the scene? And it got to a point that I didn't care about any of it anymore because it was lowering my vibrations. Now, for those that are still connected to that world, hey, I still have a rap station on WVOG because it is what it is. I'm a music person and I love music. So do I know still a lot about the rap world going on? Stay tuned because we got something coming from WVOG Hood Vibes for you. We still there, but I had to dig deep, learn myself, and then elevate. And digging deep, learning myself and elevating when I was around these social circles, it made me understand within myself, I still want to do business with these people, but I don't want to be at all these shows. I don't want to I don't want to have to talk to someone, let's say a young man for instance, and for him to come up to me and say, hey, what did you think about my performance? What did you think about the show that I put on? And I say, hey, refresh my memory, which one were you? And for the young man to identify himself as, I had on the orange sweatshirt with the orange, because his pants is sagging, the orange drawers to match. That just wasn't the world that I wanted to be in. And so I had to dig deep and I had to never mind the chitter and the chatter that I was going to get from no longer being in their world. I've got, I would run into people and people would say, you don't mess with us no more. You too busy jumping out of helicopters here and all over the world. Things like that, throwing little shots at me, but it got to the point that it didn't matter because it wasn't conducive to my growth. Social circles. When you get a phone call from a certain friend of yours or a certain group of people, you have to start digging deep. Are you at your best when you're around those people, or do you find yourself in you in another cycle of going out, getting drunk, waking up with a hangover? You can't find this, you can't find that. Your head is banging. You're throwing up in clubs. You got to be carried out. You're looking very not classy, like you're sleeping with people you shouldn't be sleeping with, things like that. If that's what you constantly find yourself in, it's time to start digging deep and learning yourself. Is this something that I want? Are these circles that I want to be around, or will you find that this is not conducive to your growth? And so when it comes to your social circles, dig deep. I encourage you, dig deep. Dig deep, dig deep, learn yourself, learn if that's actually what you want to do, or are you doing things that other people want you to do just to be on scene? And going into our next topic, ending social circle segment, I'm going to say this to you, and this is, I'm going to say this within all the topics. If the people that you're around, if you have to have that conversation with people and you tell them, look, I can't do this no more. I've dug deep. I'm learning myself and I'm trying to elevate myself. And those people cannot congratulate you, and they can't still be your friends, your constituents, your family members, your associates, your niggas, your girls, your bitches, whatever you want to call, your boy, whatever you want to call the people around you in your circles. If they are not happy that you are trying to elevate yourself, then maybe those are people that you don't need to be around in the first place. And it's a good thing that you digging deep, learning yourself, and you elevating to upgrade and elevate your social circles. Now, family. Ooh, baby, family. Now, this is dedicated to my eldest child, who is still finding herself in a whirlwind of her shit. It is what it is. If you're like me, for some reason, I don't know, y'all, the world changed and we not the same 30, 40, and 50, even 60-year-olds that we used to be. I'm a grandmother, and look what I look like. Grandma don't look like grandma, what you used to look like, and grandmas in house coats or something. Some do, but as of right now, I think those are great grandmothers. 40 is like the next, your new 20s. You know what I'm saying? So family, when it comes to digging deep, learning yourself and elevating. I visited some family members at a point, and I visited some family members because there was quickly coming up a detrimental situation in our family that was going to happen. We knew it was all going to happen, and so I tried to go around my family and at least let them know I'm busy, yes, but I'm not too busy for my family. I still love my family. I still like being around my family. But coming through the door, it was like, hey, cuz, niecey, whatever the case is, whatever they was calling me, it was like, come on. You know how family do. They came straight through the door. Let us feed you. And so I'm like, I'm probably, me and my boy Chels, you know what I mean, Lolo, we some of the skinniest fat people, greedy people that you'll ever meet in your life. Metabolism on fleek, as they used to say. But come on in, let us feed you. So I go in, and y'all, I'm vegan-ish, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. Me and my girl Tracy was like, I don't eat chicken, but the bitch is going down on chicken. I don't eat this and I don't eat that. Well, I have my bench points. Majority of my months, and I'll say pretty much 98% of my month, I'm vegan. I have an entire plant-based diet. And it's not because, as you see, it's not because of weight loss. It's just because I know that a lot of the foods that we eat, these meats and things, go watch You Are What You Eat on Netflix. It'll change your life. But I know that there are a lot of chemical imbalances when we are drinking, when we're smoking, when we're eating, when we're just, doing all type of different things that the worldly aspect has for us. We become chemically imbalanced. And so I choose to be on a more fruit and plant-based diet because I love my wine. It is what it is. I'm not an alcoholic, but I love my wine. Do I like to engage in a little hookah here and now and then? Yes. May I sometimes, if I will, we can go to any dispensary around the world at this point and go grab you a little something to smoke. If things get too heavy in life, will I sprinkle a little dispensary Mary J on my hookah sometime? Maybe. And I'm not shy to say that. There's a lot of people that do. I know politicians out there that's blowing back because it's legal now, and now they can actually say it's medicinal. So whatever the case is. But because those things are there, and I know it tends to keep us chemically imbalanced, I'm more on a vegan diet. But then I say ish because at least once or twice a month, I'll go in on some chicken, baby. Now, I won't go too far out. I might eat me some lamb. I might even do some crab legs. But it is what it is. I'm vegan-ish. And so my family is like, come on in and eat. And I couldn't eat with my family because everything that they wanted to feed me was pork this and pork that and beef this and beef that. I'm like, man, I don't really eat that. Then it was like, oh, okay, no problem. Don't worry about it. I'm like, don't worry about it. I can eat when I get home. Then it was like, well, you know what? Come on, let's go smoke. Well, come on in here, let's smoke. And so and get the rolling up blunts. I don't smoke blunts. Like I said, every now and then I'll indulge in me a little hookah, but I don't smoke blunts. So it was like, okay, strike two, can't smoke with them. And then it was like, well, you know what? Turn up. Let's go ahead and ante up some money. Let's go get some bottles. Let's go to the liquor store. Let's go get some drink. I don't drink hard alcohol. I'll have some wine or a Mike's Hard Lemonade or something like that. But it was like, then it was like strike three. Okay, then it was like, well, you know what, let's sit back and let's just chill, let's watch something on Netflix. Movie they watching was a very low vibrational movie, and some strippers turned drug dealer robber chicks. I don't know, something that I just think I'm not really into watching. And so at that point it was like strike four, and at that point they're looking at me like, okay, it's time for this heifer to go. And I'm looking like, okay, texting people like, call me right now. So I got an excuse to leave. And so at that point, I realized even with my family, I love my family, but I had to dig deep, learn myself, and elevate and understand that I can engage with my family in a way that is conducive to my growth. And it is what it is. If those family members are not happy for me and those family members can't understand, hey, I'm sorry, this may be where you are still at, but I'm not here anymore, I'm not there anymore, and these things are just not conducive to my growth. I've got to move around. Now I can still love you, we can still engage with each other, we can still talk to each other, but as far as conducting myself in these different areas, I just can't do it anymore. And for family members that love you and they understand, and people that you find once again in your social circles and in your family that are going to say, you know what, I respect you, I'm still going to do what I do. My boy Charles, he's a meat eater all day every day, baby. I mean all day every day. And so no matter what I'm eating, no matter what I say, it's a, what you over there eating a vegan sandwich or something, he gonna do what he gonna do. But he still respects me and he still loves me enough to say, that's fine, you do, man, that's my girl, that's my sis, do what you do and I'm still gonna do what I do, and we still gonna come together like family and make it do what it do. And so I encourage you to continue to dig deep, learn yourself, to elevate. The only way you are going to change what's going on in your life, in your realm, in your circle, in your spiritual realm, in your worldly realm, is digging deep, learning yourself and self-elevating. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's very hard. Sometimes elevating yourself or even starting on a path to elevate yourself, it's a lonely, lonely world. People that are within business, it's a lonely, lonely world. Entrepreneurship, it's a lonely, lonely world, because you're going to lose a lot of friends, you're going to lose a lot of family members, you're going to lose a lot of colleagues, comrades, whatever you want to call it. You're going to lose a lot of people trying to elevate yourself, because everybody is not going to be ready for the growth that you seek out for yourself. Now, this is a split segment. We're gonna go straight. We're gonna go on. We're gonna talk about career, your career. So whether you are working, whether you're an employee, or whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you were both, sometimes we find ourselves not necessarily happy within our financial areas of our lives, and we go in and we make these drastic decisions. An employee may make a drastic decision to be an entrepreneur, and then get over here in this entrepreneurship world and find out and figure out, who, child, this is not easy at all. You have to really, really be built, like Ford say, built tough for this entrepreneurship aspect or entrepreneurship world. Being an employee, if you're an entrepreneur at heart, being an employee is not easy for you to go back and work for someone else and make someone else rich. But we all, even so I want to say to entrepreneurs, don't always be so fast on so high on your high horse, so high on. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Aaron, that's Aaron Dalton. Want to say thank you for tuning in. Hey, how you doing? Make sure you stay tuned in. And so we don't entrepreneurs. We don't want to always be on our high horse of entrepreneurship and I own my entity and I own my business. Even though when you're entrepreneurship, every second of the day, every person you encounter may be a business relationship, may be a client. So we are always on business, but we don't always want to be so much on a pedestal that we understand and we push and we down people that are employees. Because if everyone was an entrepreneur and a business owner, who the hell gonna work your business? If everyone was employee, who the hell gonna run the business? So there has to be some balance. So we're all needed. I need employee-minded people just as much as I need business-minded people. We go hand in hand because I own whatever companies and entities that I own, but WVOG could not run if all the people that are still in tune with WVOG. I don't call my people employees because nobody's on an employee base. Everyone that's connected to Queenie Green is an independent contractor. They are still their own boss because Queenie Green don't want to be boss over nobody. I want you to be boss next to me. So if anyone that has ever been around me, if you thought that I wanted you to be my employee, you just took it the wrong way, baby. Everyone around me, I want everyone around me bossed up and I want them to be their own boss. Now, I always got to refer back to my boy Chels because I love Chels. Chels, Lolo, I love you, man. I love that's bro. That's bro. I trust my life. I trust my children. I trust my whole world with this man. That is bro. That is bro. One thing that I love about bro has a hell of a entity of his own. But bro says, sis, I don't like talking to nobody. I don't like talking to nobody. I really don't even like doing business. So everything that I have, everything that I own, I need you to put it under your business because you do all of that. Bro has no problem with his lane. Bro has no problem saying, Queen, you are the boss. You the business owner. You tell me and I do. I don't love him just because he's willing to, if you will, bow himself down to me, because that's not what I need. But I love that he understands his position. He understands who he is. He has dug deep. He's learned himself and he's elevated himself to be able to say, Queenie, you direct and I do. You tell me hip, tup, tup, and I do. I love it. I always give my people within careers, business owner, entrepreneurs in the leadership role. One thing that I always do is I give my people the scenario of a clock. Now, one of these days I'll have a clock and I'll open it up and I'll break it down for you. But if you open up the back of a clock, there's rotors, there's gears, there's tickers, there's the battery, there's all these other aspects of a clock. And with the clock, it doesn't matter. A rotor sits up here, a rotor sits down here. A ticker sits up here, a ticker sits down there. Some things are equal. The battery's over here. It doesn't matter. Whichever one is higher or lower or here or there, if every single aspect of the clock doesn't play its own part, the big rotor can't play the part of the little rotor because it rotates clockwise. It can't rotate clockwise and counterclockwise. The rotor can't be the ticker. The ticker can't be the battery. None of these areas can go and cross over into anybody's area and a clock is going to work. The only way a clock is going to click and tell you the right time is if each area and each position of that clock and each specific presence of that clock does its own job. That being said, within your career, dig deep, learn yourself, learn what your skills are, learn what you're good at, what you're not good at. And if this person is better than you in this, be okay. Be totally okay with coming back and letting them shine. Be okay with stepping back. A great leader is also someone that can follow. tremendously. If you can't follow, then you can't lead, because sometimes a leader gets weary. Sometimes a leader needs advice. And so, that being said, within your career, dig deep. If you're in a career that you are not happy in, dig deep and find out what it is that you want within yourself. Learn yourself. Be truthful. All of this is really mainly about being truthful with yourself. And when we come back, we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to take a real quick break, real quick commercial break. Back in a minute.
Catch the rhythm with WVOG Worldwide Radio, our 24/7 streaming service. With over 11 genres to choose from, there's a beat for every mood. Got your own tune? Share your music with the world right here. Download the app, share the vibe. Your talent, our platform. For more, visit wvogshi.com. WVOG Worldwide Radio, sharing one beat at a time. Download the app today and feel the beat.
All right, all right. So we are back, and again, this episode is Dig Deep, Learn Self, and Elevate. And so again, talking about learning yourself. Digging deep is the first part, but the main part is learning yourself. Digging deep, those are steps that you're gonna have to start taking, even if it's the smallest increment of steps of not waking straight up in the morning and smoke. I don't know. Not taking the entire day to not take some time out and reflect. Not if it's learning how to meditate, whatever the case is, but digging deep. Learning yourself is the main aspect of this show. Because if you don't know yourself, if you haven't learned yourself, I don't care how old you are. If you have not learned yourself, I have been around from the youngest to the eldest. And if I know people right now, 61 years of age, that still are playing around in these streets and has not actually learned themselves to be a better person to themselves and for everyone else. So this segment, we're talking about relationships. Now, 15 minutes, we're going to talk about this. Lord knows relationships could be a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably, and a 10. But when it comes to relationships, and I'm not just talking intimate relationships, I'm talking, once again, relationships with people, with the outside world. Digging deep, learning yourself, and elevating. We'll start off with intimate relationships. You and your marriage, your girlfriend, boyfriend, you're shacking up, you're living together, whatever you want to call it, but your intimate relationships. If you don't know yourself, you will not be good in a relationship, because and we'll touch some things. Of course, I'm not going to give any, I'm not going to put names out there. Not gonna give you any shine where you don't deserve, and I'm just not gonna put you out there like that. But within some relationships that I've been involved in and I've dealt with, people tend to think that, or they have tended to think that I was being judgmental. But it wasn't that I was being judgmental. It was more of, I've dug very deep. I mean, y'all seen it. Y'all seen the first Real Talk episodes where I'm lighting incense. I got incense lit now. They're just not on camera. I'm lighting incense. I'm talking with my ancestors. I've got altars set up. I got my crystals. I keep crystals. Crystals are on my table right now. I keep crystals all over the place. So I have done a lot of spiritual elevating for myself, spiritual awakenings. I've done readings. I've done a lot of spiritual awakenings for myself, digging deep to learn myself so I can elevate in all aspects of my life, my social circles, my career, my family, my everything that we're talking about tonight. And so it's not necessarily that I've been judgmental to people within my relationships or even my family or social circles, family, career, everything else, because it all ties in together, right? It's more of, I've done these spiritual awakenings for myself, and I've elevated, and I've allowed myself to be open to the truth so much that my mind, my eyes see what others don't see. My ears hear what others don't hear. My discernment is in a place where everyone isn't. I can read you coming from a mile away. I can see you. I can feel your energy. I see you coming from a mile away. So I can real quickly and say, you know what? You know what your problem is? Even though I've got some stuff I'm working on. I know what my problems are. A lot of people will say I talk too much. But me and my talking has gotten me where I am. Me and my strong will personality, me and my not take shit from nobody, I'm not confrontational. I just believe in checking shit right then, right at that moment, because if you don't, it'll keep going and people will keep playing with you, and you have to teach people how to deal with you. If you don't teach people how to deal with you, they'll deal with you whichever way they want to deal with you, and you'll find yourself unhappy as hell trying to make other people happy or pacifying your own feelings, trying not to step on other people's toes. If my truth steps on your toes, then get the hell out of my way. And that's just what it is. And that's how I live my life. Now, is that conducive to some other people's growth? No. And if the way I live my life and if the way that I have to move in my growth is not conducive to your growth, then by all means, step back and step away. Because at the end of the day, you have a destiny, I have a destiny, and we still gonna get to that destiny either way. Or you may not get to your destiny, or you may stop me from getting to my destiny. I may stop you from getting to your destiny. So if it's toxic and we got a part, then it means we got a part. It is what it is. Now, that's just straight off what it is when it comes to family. It comes to a point where it's not always about being confrontational. It's not always about being mean. It's not always about being judgmental. It's not always about putting yourself on a pedestal or thinking you better. My mom is one that she can't stand for any of us to say, I don't think I'm better than nobody. She say, you're a damn lie. You are better. Because if you decided to elevate yourself, if you decided to self-soothe, learn yourself, dig deep, whatever the case is, and those around you have not, then you are better than that. If you feel that you're better than certain situations, stop saying you're not better than this and you're not better than that. Because if you have elevated yourself, whether it's business, relationships, social circles, families, whatever it is, if you've elevated yourself, then you are better than what it is that someone wants to lower you and bring you down to. Stop allowing people to dim your light, and do not dim your own light. I have to tell my daughter, people might not agree with what I have to say, but I have to tell my daughter, honey, your position is solidified because you solidified in yourself. So those people around you, you walk on clouds. So elevate and float over holes. And I have to tell my fellas that float over. I don't like to use the word niggas, but if that's what you say and that's how you talk, sometimes you got to come at people where you are. If you know that you're on a certain cloud, then float straight on over those people that are trying to lower your vibrations. Do not lower your vibrations, and do not lower or dim your light for anyone to like you or accept you. If people cannot accept you where you are in your growth, if people can't accept who you are in your growth, if people can't accept your growth, then the hell with them. Float over them. Float straight over. Ladies, float over them hoes. Fellas, float over them niggas. It is what it is. Float over them MFers. Float over whatever you want to call it. Float over. If you are more conservative and you want to float over people, float over them people. But never let anyone bring you down and lower your vibrations and lower your frequencies to what they want for you. Because you won't get to your higher being if you do that. Now, back to relationships. Ladies, if you are damaged, and I'm going to break down damage, because to a certain extent, if your heart has been broken multiple times, you got a smidge of the damage up in you. Do I have a smidge of the damage up in me? I got way more than a smidget. And it's not necessarily because I'm damaged and I don't know how to love. For me, I've had this we had a show sometime back, Stop Calling Us Hoes. that was for the men and the men on us women. Stop calling us hoes. I am not a whore. I am not a hoe because I have chosen not to give up on love. I have tried my hardest to be a good wife, be a good girlfriend, to be a good baby mama to those, and they didn't appreciate it. So I have to elevate and I have to float over them niggas. You know what I mean? I have to float over them. And I'm not damaged, but I'm not damaged and I'm not a woman scorned. But what it is, how I won't say, but however, I do know signs because of what I've dealt with. So don't consider yourself damaged because you know signs, and don't allow anybody to lower you. But I'll be real, some of us are a little damaged, and that comes back to the topic of this show. Dig deep, learn yourself, and then elevate. If you know that you are not, or you have not been very good to yourself and the people in your relationships, maybe it's because you're damaged. Maybe instead of going relationship after relationship after relationship, maybe it's time to step back, dig deep, and learn yourself. Learn how you love. Learn what it is that you're okay with dealing with. Learn your limits. If you can't deal with funky shoes at your front door, I don't know what to tell you then. If you love somebody, then maybe you're gonna have to keep the air freshener, or keep the little accent carpet freshener in them shoes. If you love them and you want to stay with them. If you know that you getting cheated on may make you pull a trigger, then you might want to step back, dig deep, and you might want to take some time going into your relationships. I think one of the main problems that we have in our relationships is we tend to not necessarily look at all of what's in front of us. We tend to think, oh, I can change a person, or oh, I can deal with that. Let me tell you, honey, men, women, young ladies, teenagers, first loves, first babies, and all that. Shout out to my baby girl, Dante. I see you with that baby. She's beautiful as ever. But I'm sure I might have to have a little baby mama show and bring you on the show one day, because I'm sure you going through whatever it is you're going through because you're a teenage mom. I was a teenage mom. A lot of us, my daughter was a teenage mom. There's a lot of us out there. And I know a lot of teenage fathers out there. If you don't know what it is that you are or who you are within yourself, it may be hard for you to be that right person in a relationship. Fellas, let's just be real with ourselves. If you still in that King Jaffa Jofa, King of Zamunda mentality of I'm still young and I'm about to go out here and sow my raw oats, then stop finessing. Even though I know we're in a millennium of finessing, stop finessing these young ladies and stop getting in the panties by telling these young ladies you love them and you're gonna love them for life. Be real. Nowadays, I don't really condone it, but from what I see, these young ladies out here are probably because you got Sexy Red and Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and Ice Spice and all these other ones that's out there. A lot of these young ladies out here, fellas, be careful, because these young ladies out here, they ain't playing no games with you. They are not taking any prisoners. And I don't condone it necessarily because I love the aspect of family. But from what I'm seeing, it may not be hard for you to get in the panties. Young men, teenagers, young adults, might not be that hard for you to get in the young lady's panties by telling her, hey, booty right, breast right, face right, I like you, I want to get down. I ain't trying to take you home. I ain't trying to build no picket fence with you. I really just want to see what it be like. Baby girl might be like, you know what? I got you on my hit list too. Let's do it. Protect yourself and keep it moving. Like I said, I don't condone it, so no. I'm not telling people to sleep around and have one night stands. Not at all. But all I'm saying is be real with yourself. Be true with yourself. If you know you're not ready to settle down, stop playing that I love you and you this and you that and I want to do this and I want to do that. Just say, hey, I'm in a point in my life and I just want to have some fun. I don't know. I don't want to sleep around with everybody that I like, but I like you and I want to see what it do. Whatever the case is. All I'm saying is we have to start being real with ourselves so we can be real with other people. I believe that if a person tells you, hey, I'm not trying to make a lifetime out of this. I really just want to enjoy myself. I'm young. I'm not ready to settle down, but I'm not ready to end the game either. And I didn't already activated. I didn't activated that sexual impulse inside of me, so I need it, and I need it tonight. You might find somebody to say, "Hey, I need it tonight too. Let's go on in." But stop finessing each other. Learn yourself, dig deep, learn yourself, and elevate so you can have the type of relationships that you would like to have. For me, before we go into our last segment of subscriptions, as far as relationships, I know for me, y'all, I had to make a real choice with myself. It was either one: stop having children or stop having sex. And so for me, I stopped having children 17 years ago because I had to be real with myself. I know I'm not going to stop having sex, but I damn sure want to stop having children because I was fertile myrtle. You look at me, I'm pregnant. Blow on it, I was pregnant. Sniff on it, lick your tongue out at me, I might have got pregnant. And I know that I wasn't gonna stop. I was young. I was in my 20s. I'm not gonna stop having sex. Let's just be real. So I stopped having children. That was me digging deep, learning myself, and being real with myself. Now it is the last segment of the night and of the show. This segment is called subscriptions. Now, we are now in the world of subscriptions, right? Everything is subscribed to her, subscribe to him, subscribe to this, subscribe, like everything. Subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to this, subscribe to my channel. Now I'm just looking even on Facebook, Instagram, things like this. You can subscribe, you can subscribe. We have to, once again, dig deep, learn ourselves, and elevate, because everything that you subscribe to may not be conducive to your growth. It may not be conducive to you elevating yourself. And so, subscriptions. I had to talk. I had this talk with a cousin of mine, and I had to, I saw something, and I just, I'm always watching certain people and certain things, especially when it comes to my family. And when people come to me and they say, I'm dealing with this, or I'm watching, when somebody going through something because they talking about pray for me, and family, friends, pray for me, and I need this and I need something. Everybody needs some spiritual guidance when they going through some stuff, and you kind of know it. And I'm always seeing a particular family member that's always seemed like they always in a whirlwind of some shit. And it's always, praying for, or either I need to go away. I need to go away for a while. I need to, whatever. But then I get those inboxes of, cause you motivate me, cause you, friends, family, same thing, friends, family, constituents, comrades, whatever you want to call your circles out there. But I get a lot of inboxes of people saying, you elevate me. Tonight I was tired. There's been a lot going on. I've been here, I've been there. I got to get out the country real soon. It's just a lot going on business wise. And so I considered not even doing the show tonight, but I was a little motivated to go ahead and do this show tonight. So I know we get tired, we get weary, and sometimes we just need to go crawl up in our ball and just be with ourselves. But I do know that for all those long line of people that don't like me and can't stand me and don't follow, don't support, there's still a long line of those that I motivate and that I encourage and that are looking for looking for that, and they subscribe to me. And so I want to be consistent in helping those people in their growth. And so I thank you all for those that do subscribe to my platform. But again, to those subscriptions, I get these inboxes and family members and people are saying, hey, I'm going through some certain things, but you always, you always motivate me, you educate me, things like that. And I noticed that a particular family member of mine, I'll get these inboxes of they're going through some stuff, cuz pray for me and all these things. You know, I don't particularly partake in everything with the Bible because I think it's just a metaphoric. I think it's some. I believe in a creator, but I believe the book is a metaphoric control mechanism to keep us, well, we not elevating to our higher being. We're not elevating to our ancestors. We too busy praying. We too busy praying to this white Jesus with these blue eyes and what looked like a wet and wavy lace front, that we not actually tapping into who we are, our ancestors. This Ayah that's on my neck. This Ra, Cyrus, Wussar. This, we not actually subscribing to what we come from. So I don't tend to kind of go all into that. So when people say pray for me, I'll tell people, I'll talk to the ancestors for you. I'll praying for you. You pray for yourself. You go on Facebook and you tell Facebook to pray for you. I'll talk to the ancestors for you. I'll go ahead and I'll conjure up. I'll light some incense and I'll rearrange some crystals and I'll let the ancestors give me my word for you. That's how I pray for people. But at the end of the day, I look and I see what I'll get these from people saying that I motivate them and they're going through certain things, and then I'll take some time and I'll look down their Facebook or their Instagram page and I'll see the things that they share, the things that they say, the things that and I see why they're going through what they're going through is because of what we're subscribing to. If all you subscribing to and your face is stuck in TikTok and all you watching are ignorant videos of people fighting, people cussing, people, hoeing and people stripping and I don't know, whoever it is, Nettie and Charles and Ray and I don't know. Somebody was trying to tell me about who these people are. I see all this stuff. I don't know, because I don't subscribe to none of this. When people ask me, hey, you know about Empire, you know about when Power was out, and you know about The Walking Dead. Hell, why would I subscribe to The Walking Dead when I'm walking around and I'm seeing The Walking Dead every goddamn day when I pull out my car? When I walk into every store I walk in, damn near, I'm looking at The Walking Dead. So why would I sit there and want to subscribe to it and watch that on TV? No. I don't even really watch much TV. Roku now has this whole new terms of service, and I advise you to take some time and don't just hit that accept. Take some time and actually read those terms and services of what they talking about. So I don't even really watch TV no more, because why I gotta waive my rights to all of this stuff just to watch TV? I don't subscribe to a lot of this bullshit and a lot of this garbage that's going on, because it brings your vibrations and your frequencies way down. It dims your light. It messes with your balances, and you are not able to get to where the universe actually has for you to get to, where you want to get to. A lot of people are out there subscribing to shit that has absolutely nothing to do with who you really want to be. Being my girl Trace. See you tomorrow, right? We gonna turn up, right? We gonna have our little turn up. Shout out to my boy Nego Heights. Yo, Nego Heights in the Wild Hair. I'll give you a shout out. Make sure y'all come out tonight. Don't beat us there. 8 p.m. That's what we'll be. We'll be with my boy. Supporting my boy. Go out and support those who support you. At this point, I only subscribe to what is elevating and what is conducive to me and my being. Like I said, so I see these things and I see people subscribing to things that has nothing to do with their growth. You'll inbox me and you tell me, man, cuz, or man, friend, or family member, or whatever the case is. This is what I really would like to do. This is what I really would like to start doing. This is what, I would really like to start being involved in. But then I'm looking at what you subscribe to, and it has nothing to do with what you're telling me you want to be involved in. It has nothing to do with what you're telling me that you want to be around. So what you subscribe to has a lot to do with your everyday life and what you're dealing with in your everyday life. This hair's trying to get on my nerve right now. I'm gonna pull that back. But what you subscribe to has a lot to do with what you are dealing with in your everyday life. If what we don't understand is what these people around us, when it comes to commercials, why you think when it's Valentine's Day, you running out, you see everywhere you go, all you see is hearts and purple and red and Valentine's everywhere. It's in your subliminal. I don't care whether you on everything you see, whether you listen to everything you see. You notice how many of y'all out there, you watch TV, and even though you not trying, 222, 22, 22, I know the damn jingle. It's in our subliminal because we see it and we hear it. It's going past our eyesight and it's going past our ears so much, so much, so much that it's in your subliminal. You know jingles to commercials that you'll never even do business with these people with certain commercials, but you know they jingle. You know they phone number. That's because it's in your subliminal. So if you're subscribing to certain things that are lowering your vibrations and lowering your frequencies, you don't even know and you don't even understand that whether you want to engage in it or not, sooner or later, you will be engaged in it because it's in your subliminal. You know the jingle, even if you're not trying to know the jingle. You know the phone number, even if you're not going to do business with these people. Why do you think? Y'all done heard that Top Dog commercial out here? I know y'all done heard it. The commercial, if you listen to the vibrations of that commercial, it's getting into y'all. It's getting into your subliminal. It's getting it. I turn it down. Whenever I hear it, I turn it down. No shade to Kendra. No shade to all them other people that be advertising old boys commercial. No shade to his. And then you starting to see his billboards because he got you on the radio. Got you on them vibrations and them frequencies. Now everywhere you drive and you seeing his commercials. So the first thing, soon as you need a lawyer, the first thing you're gonna think about is old boy because he got these people, he got these black people on here talking about, God said it's time for you to come up. It's time for you to check up bag. And while he's saying that, he got this certain type of music and these certain type of tunes that's getting into you. You go past that billboard. Now, soon as you need a lawyer, the first thing in your mind is him because he done got all up in your subliminal. You know his jingle, you know his phone number when you wasn't even trying to. So that is what I mean about the subscriptions. Digging deep, learning yourself to elevate means checking yourself and checking that shit that you subscribe to. Everything ain't for you. Just like one size fits all. Baby, just because it says one size fits all on the tag, don't mean that you should have your skinny ass in it. Don't mean that you should have your big ass in it. Don't mean you should have your tall ass in it. Don't mean you should have your short ass in it. Blonde hair ain't for everybody. What they say, you look like a goddamn black and mouth. I'm not trying to tear nobody down. All I'm trying to do is be real with you and make you understand what might be being said about you while you think you at your highest point when people are laughing at you. People are talking about you because you are not vibrating to your greatest potential. It's going to come to a point in life where you must stop adhering to the illusions that are bestowed upon you. Subscribe to only what is going to elevate you to be the greater being that you are. You can't be a greater being when you subscribing to low vibrational shit. It is what it is. Now, do I curse? Yes, I do. It is what it is. So if what I'm saying, you feel like it's not conducive to your growth, the unfriend, the unfollow button is right there in front of you. Move around. It's fine. It's not going to make or break a situation, but I still love you and I still talk to the ancestors for you. I may not talk to you for 10 years. I've got people that I ain't talked to in years, but I've done some spiritual awakening and the ancestors will tell me, go message that person, go talk to that person and tell them this. And they'll tell me, you know what, we ain't talked in years, but whatever you said to me is exactly what I needed because this is what I was going through last night. It always comes on time. And so that being said, I got 2 minutes left. And with my last 2 minutes, I want to introduce some of those that, of course, may already know this book, but I have a lot of people that know me. They know that I absolutely love to read. I don't watch a lot of TV. I love to read. And so I get a lot of people. Shout out to Cisco. Shout out to Cisco. We met him over at the Stephen Marley. Stephen and Junior Gong. Junior Gong and Stephen Marley. Oh man, y'all tore up Aragon last week. Oh man, love it, love it, love it. Shout out to the whole Bob Marley family. Shout out to them being, being watching and everything. Shout out to my girl Shani Morgan that dropped a tribute song for Bob Marley. Just shout out to the Bob Marley family, man. I'm so humble, so humble to be able to have been able to do some type of work with the Bob Marley family, do something for the Bob Marley family as far as the tribute song. But in my last minute, this is a book by the very, very, very extremely intelligent, very well educated and rooted Chancellor Williams. And this is Destruction of a Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. So this is the book that I am encouraging you all. If you need a good read, if you're looking for something to read, I'm encouraging you all to go out, get that book and read that book. I'll start ending my segments with my library up here and some of the books that I've read. All the books here, I've read them. And this is another thing that I do that helps me in my growth, helps me digging deep, learning myself, and elevating myself, self-elevating. I want to close out with saying, do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. Do I believe that I know it all? Absolutely not. I am still a work in progress. You are still a work in progress, and that is perfectly okay. Continue to be the work in progress you are. It is totally okay. Just subscribe to better subscriptions, dig deep, learn yourself, and elevate. That's the show, you guys. Stay tuned for another episode. Make sure you check out everything that we got going on. Queenie Green is always conjuring up something and bringing something new to you. That's hashtag WVOG everywhere on every platform. If you'd like to be a guest on the Real Talk Show, inbox me or email me, Queenie G, or info@WVOGCHI.com. That's my time, y'all. I'm out. Remember, dig deep, learn yourself, and then elevate.
Catch the rhythm with WVOG Worldwide Radio, our 24/7 streaming service. With over 11 genres to choose from, there's a beat for every mood. Got your own tune? Share your music with the world right here. Download the app, share the vibe. Your talent, our platform. For more, visit wvogshi.com. WVOG Worldwide Radio, sharing one beat at a time. Download the app today and feel the beat.